black hip hop artists and producers used to sample black R&B musicians. It also makes so much sense that they are also taking their history forward in a different form. Then I start thinking about how can I do this in my context. I come from South India, right? Then I started brainstorming, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to sample our own musical heritage. So I started sampling 80s South Indian cinema because it has a distinct sound. Audio goes off, then it's a huge.
Audio's on.
Yeah. Even if video goes off, it doesn't matter.
Are you a Kannada man? Of course. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ.
Sakré is my surname, which means sugar in Kannada. And I was quite embarrassed by that name because I was bullied in school having such a surname that's called Sugar. But then later people usually call me Sakré, so I took it as my own name now. Yeah, I mean I can sit on the tree. I mean, do I look uncomfortable? No, right? Around 3 to 4 years ago, I actually started looking at sampling as a voice. To me, sampling is like photography, like you capture the essence of a particular place. So I believe that every place has a sound, and for example, if you take Bangalore, there are so many sounds of Bangalore, and these sounds are not just sounds, they also invoke a certain emotion. They mean something to us. Very important part of the soundscape of Bangalore, so to speak, is our 80s South Indian cinema music. That particular sound of that music actually has a special place in my heart because of the physical spaces it reminds me of. To give you an example, I recently worked on an album called Bangalore Sonic Archives. The essence of that album is this: to capture the sounds that kind of make you feel like you are in Bangalore. In that there is one track called Baili, which I shot in Indian coffee house. If you've been to the place, that place actually is like a time capsule. I had to imagine, okay, what would this place sound like? So I actually took a small snippet out of an 80s Tamil song called Vava, and then I actually reinterpreted that. So that particular like audio and visual, it kind of sounds like this song belongs to this place, or it kind of feels like that place. At least my interpretation, sonic interpretation of that place. Another example would be a track from the same album called as Chandni. There's a small phrase that goes Chandni, which appears in this iconic classic Kannada film called A by Upendra. Upendra is this gem of Bangalore. Like you cannot separate Upendra from Bangalore. I performed that particular Chandni sample and a beat associated with it around a ficus tree. So the idea behind that particular song was trees are the first residents of a place, and Bangalore is known for trees, and I kind of wanted to capture the spirit of that tree with sounds. the downside of working with sample based music with whatever intention you do is there are a lot of copyright concerns that come with using samples as a part of your arrangement. If I went around chasing these lawyers and labels to let me sample all of this, I would never be able to express myself. I cannot let corporations decide an art form, but now I will still do it. I will still do it with my own process. But on the side now, I'm working with a very efficient manager, Ojas. He's really educated and he's really good at actually handling the legal side of things. So he is actually on the side speaking to labels and label owners and all of that to try and get this cleared as much as possible. Otherwise, there are other methods. In Bangalore Sonic Archives, technically, I did not use the sample because I recreated it. I used the sample and then I did the track. Then I recreated and then because I play instruments, I have a bunch of synthesizers. I have the ability to recreate that sound. It's a tedious process, but I don't find any other way to. It kind of disrupts my workflow a little bit, but I have done that to an extent. So my idea is any place can be a place for music. So instead of complaining there are no venues and venues are not giving me opportunity, I was like, okay, I identified there are people who want to listen to it, and there are places where people can sit. Why not turn that into a place of music?